Good morning and welcome to Adult Storytime today. We're glad you could join us. This week we're still taking the stories that we're reading from the Book of Useless Information, and it is a book written by Noel Botham and the Useless Information Society. And as last week, we were talking about things that were on the menu or things that we eat and useless information about that. We're going to continue with that topic today. The first subheading is Great Moments in Gastronomic History. The food of the Greek gods was called ambrosia. The chocolate chip cookie was invented in 1933. Blueberry Jelly Bellies were created especially for Ronald Reagan. California's Frank Epperson invented the popsicle in 1905 when he was just 11 years old. Chefs started using onions 5,000 years ago to spice up their cooking. Donuts originated in Holland. Dry cereal for breakfast was invented by John Henry Kellogg at the turn of the 20th century. In 1983, a Japanese artist made a copy of the Mona Lisa completely out of toast. Fortune cookies were actually invented in America by Charles Jung in 1918. Jelly Belly jelly beans were the first jelly beans in outer space when they went up with the astronauts in the June 21st, 1983 voyage of the Space Shuttle Challenger. We'd love to have you for dinner. Sonny Bean, his wife, 8 sons, 6 daughters, and 32 grandchildren were a family of cannibals who lived in the caves near Galloway, Scotland in the early 17th century. Although the total number is not known, it is believed they claimed more than 50 victims per year. The entire family was taken by an army detachment to Edinburgh and executed, apparently without trial. British politician John Montagu, the 46th Earl of Sandwich, is credited with naming the sandwich. He developed the habit of eating beef between slices of toast so he could continue playing cards uninterrupted. Ketchup originated in China. Laws forbidding the sale of sodas on Sunday prompted William Garwood to invent the ice cream sundae in Evanston, Illinois in 1875. Potato chips were invented in Louisiana in 1853. Potatoes were first imported by Europe in the 1500s on Spanish ships returning from Peru. Beijing boasts the world's largest Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant. Almost 425,000 hot dogs and buns and 160,000 hamburgers and cheeseburgers were served at Woodstock, 99. The English word soup comes from the Middle Ages word sop, which means a slice of bread over which roast drippings were poured. Counteractive, but true, vanilla is used to make chocolate. And some record breakers. The highest lifetime yield of milk for a single cow is 55,849 gallons. The hottest chili in the world at the time was claimed to be the habanero. The largest apple pie ever baked was 40 feet by 23 feet. The largest hamburger in the world weighed in at 5,520 pounds. The largest ketchup bottle is a 170-foot water tower. And one last section for today, and the heading is International Palates. Dinner guests during the medieval times in England were expected to bring their own knives to the table. In 18th century France, visitors to the royal palace in Versailles were allowed to stand in a roped-off section of the main dining room and watch the king and queen eat. In certain parts of India and ancient China, mouse meat was considered a delicacy. Each year, Americans spend more on cat food than on baby food. It is estimated that Americans consume 10 million tons of turkey on Thanksgiving Day. Due to the turkey's high sulfur content, Americans also produce enough gas to fly a fleet of 75 Hindenburgs from Los Angeles to New York in 24 hours. The southern dish, chitlins, is made up of pig's small intestines. Yogurt intake among North Americans has quadrupled in the past 20 years. In Australia, the number one topping for pizza is eggs. In Chile, their favorite topping is mussels and clams. In the United States, it's pepperoni. The world's number one producer and consumer of fresh pork is China. China's Beijing Duck Restaurant can seat 9,000 people at one time. If China imported just 10% of its rice needs, the price on the world market would increase by 80%. France has the highest per capita consumption of cheese. More than half of the different types of cheese in the world come from France. The glue on Israeli postage stamps is certified kosher. Japan is the largest exporter of frog legs. And the last one, a company in Taiwan makes dinnerware out of wheat so you can eat your plate. And that is our book of useless information for today. We hope you learned something. Some of the things may have changed, but still many of them are spot on and correct, but it's fun to find out things that are just useless. So until next time, we hope you join us again, but stay safe, be healthy, and have a wonderful week.